outset, I think the fundamental issue and the topmost priority would be to ensure very high standards of operational preparedness, both to face the current as well as the futuristic challenges across the entire spectrum. Secondly, in terms of force development and modernization, to maximize new technologies as well as through the process of innovation and indigenization be aligned with the Make in India and the Atmanirbharta concept. Third, in terms of focusing on achieving inter-service synergy as well as to work and actively engage with other agencies in a positive manner to contribute towards nation building. Fourth will be to focus on the ongoing process of reforms, restructuring and transformation, essentially with the aim to enhance our operational efficiency as well as functional and administrative efficiency. And last but not the least, to make sure that our brave officers, JCOs and soldiers, their well-being is looked after, as also those of our ex-servicemen and Veer Naris. So these, I would say, would be my priorities at the current stage. So the situation on the line of actual control as on date, I would say, is normal. The unilateral and provocative actions by our adversary with an aim to alter the status quo by force, I feel have been adequately responded to. And over the last 2 years, we have carried out continuous threat assessment and likewise realigned and reoriented our forces. As far as the situation on the LAC is concerned, our troops are there in a very firm, resolute, in a peaceful manner and ensuring that there is no change in the status quo. Also, our troops are holding important physical positions. But in all this, we are very clear that we will not permit any changes in the status quo and any loss of territory. As far as what are we doing, of course, the process of talks between the two sides is ongoing because we believe that that is the way forward. Only when you talk to each other can you find resolution. So we are confident that as we continue to talk with the other side, we will find resolution to the ongoing issues. In terms of our preparedness levels, I think we have inducted additional equipment, additional troops in those areas, as well as looked after the infrastructure. So our focus has also been on infrastructure development, specifically habitat, to match the operational and logistic requirements. And at the end, our aim is to continuously work towards reducing the tensions along the LAC and ensure that the restoration of the status quo takes place at the earliest. Right, so as far as the situation on our western borders with Pakistan specifically is concerned, the DGMO's understanding, which we arrived at a year plus back, that has helped us in improving the situation on ground. And that has also helped the civilian population on either side of the line of control to live in a better fashion. However, I must admit that in terms of reduction in the terrorist infrastructure and terrorist training camps, neither is there any evidence nor there are any signatures of that happening. On the contrary, we find that the number of terrorists who are operating has increased. Whilst on the LC itself, the infiltration has gone down and so have the violence levels. But in the hinterland, there is no indication to that effect. But what is significant is that because of the success of our counter-infiltration operations and counter-infiltration grid, from the other side, there is exploitation of the narco-terror nexus In that you now see cases where there is smuggling of contraband items, smuggling of weapons, etc., which is happening across the international border, both in the states of Jammu Kashmir and further south. But we are clear and we are resolute that any act of terror and any hybrid threat that is posed on us from the other side, be it in terms of infiltration, terrorist attacks, or radicalization through social media, a number of other means, we are resolute on our effort to counter this, and I'm sure we'll succeed in this. So I'll flag three major issues. First, the ongoing conflict has clearly brought out that the conventional wars are there to stay and they still continue to remain relevant. You have seen in the ongoing conflict the use of artillery guns, the use of tank, air defense guns, anti-tank guided missiles, drones and counter drones. So these weapon systems are still relevant. And what we perhaps need to take out of this is the fact that we need to continue to focus on our capability development to fight a conventional war. So that is first aspect. Second aspect is that we need to rely on our indigenous weapon systems, equipment, and we need to develop that capacity. And to that extent, we are clearly aligned to the Atmanirbharta and the Make in India initiative. And we believe going forward, that is the way to build our capability. And lastly, this conflict has again brought to the fore the importance of non-kinetic means of warfare, such as information warfare and cyber warfare. So these are the areas again in which we need to build our capability and capacities as we continue to prepare ourselves for future conflicts.